Alright, this video is going to be an updated video of the clutch that hatched out last time. So that was the Super Stripe to the Pastel Yellow Belly. So let's take a look at the animals. They're all shed out now. Here we go. And you guys can see it's actually pretty obvious as to what is what. So here is a pastel ivory. Hopefully I don't get bit here. Here's a little pastel ivory. And the reason why I know it's a pastel ivory is basically because of the very bright yellow stripe going down its back. Quite a nice looking snake, to be honest with you. Let me just put the phone down here so I could sex this. And this is a female. And I mean, let's get my shadow out of the way there. You guys can see the big difference between the pastel ivory and the Marvel ball, aka the pastel super stripe. Big difference indeed. Like I had told you guys last video, this would be much more yellow when it's shed out, and of course it is. So let's leave the camera on him for 2 seconds, focusing on his nice colors as I sex the next pastel ivory. Actually, this one may just be a regular ivory. The stripe along its back is not nearly as nice as the other, and it seems as though this is a female as well. So let me just show you guys how this looks in comparison. But you can see that yellow line is definitely present as well on this snake, but the snake looks a lot paler compared to this one down here. I mean, you could see this one has very intense yellows on it, whereas this one is a lot lighter. And you especially see the difference right at the base of the head. So those are 2 pastel ivories. And right here, I believe that is going to be a pastel spark, just because the pattern is very crazy compared to yellow belly. And since the super stripe is a gene that acts like a super, meaning that you can't make normals with a super stripe, you'll either make sparks or yellow bellies. And a yellow belly is obviously an ivory, like these two. And then a spark yellow belly is a super stripe, like this guy here. So let's take a look at our spark. We'll always save the best for last. Again, we'll put the camera down on him so you guys can get a look at him. Doesn't want to focus too well. Anyways, so let me just sex the spark here. And the spark is a male. So let me grab this here. The spark was actually in a boob egg, and what that means is like when part of the egg is kind of yellowy. It almost looks like it's half egg, half slug. A slug, by the way, is an infertile egg. So that's why this animal actually ended up being a lot smaller than the others. But still very nice looking animal. You could see also along the sides that it is not a yellow belly, and the intense blushing and crazy pattern is what lets us know basically that it is in fact a spark. And now for the Marvel. The Marvel actually is quite big. Let's make sure the camera focuses on this guy. You could see absolutely ridiculous looking snake. Pattern is quite crazy. As they get older, they actually darken up and they look even better than they do as babies, which is like something that isn't too common in ball pythons. Generally, I don't want to say the adults get uglier as they grow, but typically they're just nicer looking as babies. whereas this animal, in my opinion, will end up looking nicer as an adult. So let's have a look under this girl's skirt, hoping it's a female, which almost certainly means it'll end up being a male. And it is, in fact, let's see if I can hold that. Well, the peens went back in, but yep, it is, of course, a boy. A nice snake nonetheless. And I'll actually show you guys their bins that they'll be going in. So you can see the bins, the way we set them up, because they're in a rack system, they don't really need a hide, just because they're in a smaller enclosure. I had come up with a video a couple of weeks ago where I explained that you actually want your snakes, all your reptiles actually, if possible, to be in a smaller cage when they're babies, so that they feel less stressed. And from that, you'll see they'll sometimes even be less aggressive, they'll be less shy, and more than anything else, I find they'll usually eat a lot better. So I'm going to put this guy into this bin here. I'm actually going to move it up to where these guys were, which is right here. And you guys can see that, I mean, I'm going to answer you guys right away, because everybody always asks me, despite how many times I tell you guys, what kind of substrate this is. This is Diamond Dry substrate. And you could get this usually from reptile importers and distributors. They usually have this on hand. It's a lot more expensive than Aspen. So there's that to keep in mind. The bag, I believe it costs about $10 more, at least where I get it from. It costs $10 more than Aspen, and it could probably do, I would say, 1/3 of the amount of cages that you could do with a big bale of Aspen. But nonetheless, there's hardly any dust in this. When I use Aspen, I sneeze like crazy, so I don't really like Aspen too much. And this stuff absorbs humidity quite well. Like if you spray it, the cage will actually stay humid for a couple days. And because it's white, it's very easy to spot clean, because dirty spots will be discolored, and very easy to spot clean that way. You don't have to completely change it out very often. Usually I'll only completely change it out when a snake will shed, just because I'll be spraying it down maybe 2-3 times a week. And then when you do keep it extra humid, it does tend to change color a bit. And if it's like very humid and you don't spot clean, then it could mold over, which is very bad. So if you guys aren't into spot cleaning, would rather just change it up completely, I would probably suggest wood chip like Aspen for you guys. But for people that they don't want to change out the entire substrate each time the snake creates waste in the cage or dirties the cage, Diamond Dry is perfect. Like I said, the only drawback is the price. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, for the bag that it comes in a big white bag. Doesn't really have a label on it. So call the guys who have big bales of Aspen, typically reptile specialty stores, and ask them if they've heard of Diamond Dry and if they could get you guys this substrate. That's the best way that I could tell you guys how to get it if you're interested in it. I've never seen it for sale on display in a store, but usually if you ask for it, people will be able to get you it. Maybe what you could do is take a picture of this video, or a screen cap of this video, show it to your distributor, and then they'll probably be able to get it for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like it, share it, all that good stuff. Again, one more time here to show the difference between a pastel ivory and what I believe is a regular ivory. Take care, guys. Please subscribe. Thanks.